Hi, I'm Lara, and 2 years ago at 3 o'clock am, my pregnant sister showed up at midor soaked in rain, shaking, barely able to speak. Our parents had kicked her out to protect their perfect image. Then they texted me, "Don't help her. She had no one." So I let her in, and now 2 years later, my father has the nerve to ask, "Is the baby okay?" I said one sentence, just one. But maybe what hurts most isn't what they did to her. It's what they expected me to do too. Why would a family treat their daughters like strangers? And what was that one sentence I finally sent back? Do you want to know? It was the kind of sound that pulls you out of sleep before your mind has even caught up. 3 hard knocks, then 3 more, each one sharper than the last. My apartment was dark except for the faint glow from the street light outside, blurred by the rain hitting my window in steady sheets. For a moment, I thought I dreamt it. Then came another set of knocks, urgent, uneven. Whoever it was, they weren't going away. I pushed the blanket acidine, swung my legs over the side of the bed, my heart already beating faster. It was late fall in Charleston, and the air inside was cold enough that my breath puffed faintly in front of me. I slipped on a sweatshirt and padded to the door, trying not to imagine the worst. When I peered through the peephole, my stomach dropped. Her hood was down, hair plastered to her cheeks, mascara smudged in jagged lines. The thin sweatshirt clung to her, soaked through, and under it I could see the undeniable curve of a baby bump. She was shivering so hard her teeth chattered, and when I cracked the door open, the wind pushed the rain in like a warning. "Laura," her voice cracked on my name, the sound raw and small. I pulled her inside before she could say anything else. The door banged shut behind her, but not before the night's cold bit into my skin. She stood in the middle of my living room, dripping water onto the hardwood, looking like she'd been dropped here from another world. I reached for the throw blanket draped over the couch and wrapped it around her shoulders. Her hands gripped it, like it was the only solid thing left. And then my phone buzzed. It was face down on the counter, screen lighting up in short, sharp bursts. I picked it up, thumb hovering over the button before I even looked. The message preview was enough from Seraphine. "If you shelter her, you're no better than her. Don't come back." It was like reading something written in ice. My fingers tightened around the phone until my knuckles went white. That wasn't just a command. That was a sentence. Exile delivered in 12 words. Mrs. Eyes flicked to the phone. She didn't have to ask who it was from. "She knows you're here," I asked quietly, Moretto myself than to her. She kicked me out. Her lips barely moved, said, "I had until midnight to decide. End it or leave." She swallowed hard, the movement almost painful to watch. I left. I glanced toward the window. Rain streaked the glass in relentless lines. The storm outside somehow gentler than the one inside me. In my mind, I was back at that long dining table. Years of family dinners where the unspoken rule was simple. Protect the image. Don't bring trouble home. Don't give people a reason to talk. In our house, love was conditional. You could feel it in the way conversations paused when you walked into the room. In the way Seraphinesmal could harden in an instant if you said the wrong thing. Now she'd turn that weapon on Miss. And if I opened midor to her, she'd turn it on me too. My phone buzzed again. Another message. I didn't open it. Instead, I set it face down on the counter and went back to Miss. She was sitting on the edge of the couch. Now, the blanket pulled around her like it was too heavy to lift. "Come on," I said, keeping my voice steady. "Let's get you warm." I guided her into the kitchen where the hum of the refrigerator was the only sound besides the rain. I filled the kettle and set it on the stove, the click of the burner strangely loud in the quiet. "You're not going to read it?" she asked it after a moment, her voice muffled by the blanket. "No." Opened the cabinet and reached for the tea tin. "If she wants to talk to me, she can come here herself." Mrs. Eyes searched mine as if trying to reassure how much I meant it. I didn't flinch. When the kettle whistled, I poured the water into 2 mugs, the steam curling into the cold air between us. She took hers with both hands, it soaking into her fingers. "Lee." She hesitated, eyes glistening. "You don't have to." "Yes," I said before she could finish. "I do." For a long moment, the only sound was the rain against the windows. She stared down into her mug, and I let her have each space. Sometimes you don't need answers right away. You just need to know someone isn't going to walk away. I could feel the vibration of my phone from across the room. Another message waiting like a stone in my pocket, but I didn't move. If they wanted me to choose, I'd already chosen. She leaned back against the couch, shoulders finally dropping a little. The blanket slid off one side, and I tucked it back around her. Outside, the rain softened, but the sky was still heavy with clouds. Inside, the air had shifted. Not warm, not yet, but different. Like we'd stepped over a line there was no coming back from. Mrs. Breathing slowed. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she said, "You don't know the whole story yet." I met her eyes. "Then tell me everything." Her voice came out so low I had to lean in to catch it. The rain outside was softer now, but it still filled the room, with its steady tapping like it was marking the seconds before she said what she'd been holding back. I could see her hands tighten around the mug I'd given her, steam curling up into her face and vanishing. "It started 3 nights ago," she murmured, eyes fixed on a point just past my shoulder. I knew she'd be angry, but I didn't think she trailed off and swallowed hard. I stayed quiet. If I pushed, she might shut down. If I waited, I'd get the whole truth. She asked me to come to the living room. Mies began again. Dad was there too. She had a glass of wine in her hand, not even pretending it was just to unwind. She didn't waste any time. She told me I had two options: end the pregnancy or pack my things and be gone by midnight. Her fingers twitched under the blanket. She didn't raise her voice. That made it worse. Like it was just business. Like my life, my baby was an inconvenience on her calendar. I pictured the scene too easily. Seraphine in that silk robe she wore when she wanted to feel in control. The wine glass balanced like an accessory, her tone calm enough to make you question your own reaction. That was her skill, making cruelty sound reasonable. "What did Dad say?" I asked. Her laugh was humorless. "Nothing. He just sat there." He looked at me once, then back at the fireplace like I wasn't even part of the conversation. She shook her head. "You know what she said after that? She told me, if you keep it, don't expect us to be your safety net, like I've ever asked them for anything." I could almost smell the sharp tang of that wine. See the way Seraphine would have crossed her legs, a physical full stop to any discussion. The way Dad's silence always made him her accomplice without him lifting a finger. "Did you try to reason with her?" I asked, already knowing things were. "I told her I loved him, that I wanted this baby." She laughed, not like she found it funny, more like I'd said something naive. Then she stood up, went to the hall closet, and came back with my duffel bag. It was already packed. I frowned. She'd packed it before she even talked to you. She had Mrs. eyes drop to the blanket again. When I walked outside with it, she followed me to the porch. She threw something onto the lawn. It was the family photo from last Christmas, the one with all of us in front of the tree. But my part of the picture was torn out, just gone. It pictured that glossy print, the jagged white edge where her face should have been. My stomach tightened. "It was raining," she went on. I picked it up and the paper was already curling in the wet grass. She didn't say goodbye. She just turned and shut the door. The image burned into me. My sister standing in the cold, holding a ripped picture while our mother closed the door on her. I'd grown up knowing Seraphine could be brutal, but this was calculated. "Where did you go?" I asked. I started walking. I didn't even think about where. I just knew I couldn't go to anyone she knew. I made it to the bus stop by the library, sat there, until I couldn't feel my toes. I thought about calling you, but I knew she'd try to get to you first. She was right. The fact that Seraphine's message had arrived before Miss even finished knocking proved it. I got up and went to my bedroom without saying a word. When I came back, I had the small velvet box I kept on the top shelf of my dresser. Mrs. brows knit together when I handed it to her. "Open it." She lifted the lid and gasped softly. Inside was a delicate gold necklace with a small worn locket. "This was Grandma Elsie's," she whispered. "She gave it to me when I turned 18, I said. Told me it had been in the family for 3 generations. I want you to have it now." Her eyes flicked up to Mini. "Lara, I can't." "Yes, you can. This stays in the family we choose, not the one that throws us out when we don't fit the picture." She clasped the necklace in her hand like it might disappear if she let go. For a moment, the lines in her face softened. I could see the teenager she'd been, the little sister who you said to follow me around in the garden. The quiet stretched, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was solid. Then the sharp buzz of my phone on the table broke it. I turned my head toward the sound. The screen lit up. Seraphine's name clear even from here. I didn't touch it. "Not yet." Miss glanced at me. "Aren't you going to see what she wants?" I shook my head slowly, my jaw tightening. No. She's already say to no.